question, just your thoughts on tonight's match.
Yeah, obviously a good team. Columbus, we knew going in the match, going to be a very difficult game, which it was. Obviously 2 early goals given up. That doesn't help. I just thought as a whole, we didn't win enough of the 1v1, duels on either side of the ball. The way that Columbus plays, they're always going to put you in 1v1s, and they're going to be in 1v1s defensively. So, in the attack, if you can exploit those 1v1s with good movement, with quality, you're going to get chances. And I thought there were times that we execute on that side of the ball, but not enough. We didn't, especially in the front three. I didn't think we created enough. It's a 3v3. That's the way they leave it. They're very aggressive and they gamble, but I didn't think we hurt their back three enough. And then defensively, we were in around it always, but just not. We didn't win enough duels. We didn't win enough duels. The first goal is case in point. We get beaten a couple 1v1s. You got to get a piece of a guy. You've got to get tight. You've got to win the ball. You got to tackle. And we were late. And start of the second half was a little better, but then we lose a 1v1 on that to make it 3. And we were just second best today. They were the better team, and the guys worked hard. Honestly, they worked hard. Just Columbus, showed their quality, and that's why they won the game.
All right, we'll get started with questions. We'll go to Frank DeLappa first. If you have questions, please hit the raise hand icon. Frank?
Good night, Caleb. You talked last week about the team. You felt you were still on the right track despite the record. After this result, you still feel encouraged?
Yeah, it's a tough one because obviously we have some guys out, that bring quality. It's a game where, Yusuf would have certainly helped us in the center of the park. Obviously Arriaga, we have some guys that, have quality that aren't here, even in Ejmer. So, I didn't think, individually, collectively, we played well enough today. Obviously it wasn't for lack of effort. The guys, I thought, worked really hard, but, you're playing, one of the best teams in the league, last year's champion. And so everything's going to be magnified. But the way they play, they put you in 1v1s, and we got exposed, and it wasn't, one side of the ball, it was both sides of the ball. We just didn't do enough. So I don't think it changes what we feel. It just shows that they're definitely better than us. They're definitely ahead of us with where they're at. And, we've got to continue to improve. We got to continue to add players. It's a game where we don't score. It's a game we concede 4. So, we need some pieces for sure. And we got to continue to improve collectively as well.
Next, we'll go to Seth McCumber. He'll be followed by Sam Minton. Seth, you're unmuted.
Hi, Caleb. Thanks for taking the time. Earlier this week, you mentioned that these last 2 games would be good benchmarks for you to see what you need going into the offseason. I know you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but what did you learn in this game that you can think about, and what do you need in the offseason?
Yeah, I think we learned we need a bit more depth, because obviously with some guys out, we have other guys step in the threes a little bit in a few spots, key spots, and felt like, it looked that way at times. But then also we have some key guys playing today, and, I want to see more. I want to see more out of some of those guys, we got guys that are DPs who need to score goals, and that's a reality. I felt like, again, in the attack, with the way they play, there was opportunities, for the front guys to be in situations where they could hurt, Columbus, because of how aggressive they play in the attack, and how much they leave, these 1v1s, but I didn't think we showed enough quality. And then defensively, we need to continue to, for me, get guys who can win 1v1s, because, in order to beat a team like Columbus, you're going to have to be in 1v1s, because the way they load your back 4, they push 5 guys up, and, there's no way to avoid those 1v1s. And I just didn't think individually versus their guys that we showed enough today.
And next we'll go to Sam Mitten, and then we'll go back to Frank DeLappa. Sam, you're unmuted.
Hello, Caleb. Just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on Will Sands, obviously, returning to the pitch. Just overall, kind of what did you see from him tonight, and just how do you feel he's doing physically?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good shift for him. Obviously, it's, I think, 70 minutes for his first time back in. He's, I think that's a position we're not worried about right now. There are a few others we are that we're going to have to add and make improvements. And it's not just the ones. We need to add some depth and, because we're going to lose guys to international duty. So we need to make sure when we play our threes, that we're better. We're better in those spots. Now, obviously, playing Columbus, it's going to be a game that's going to expose those things even more. But again, the guys worked hard. I know, 4-0, it looks like bad, but the guys worked really hard. But we just need more quality. We just need more quality if we want to be at the level of a Columbus Crew.
We'll take one more question. That'll be Frank DeLappa. Frank, you're unmuted.
Caleb, on the press, it looked like you guys caused quite a few turnovers off the press, but were unable to convert. What's your take on why you couldn't turn at least one or two of those into a goal?
Yeah, it's just, again, once we win it, we've got to have quality. With that final pass, with the forward ball, with the touch, the drop, then the third man run. Those little details, it just felt like we'd win it, and then we'd just kind of give it right back to them. Just as a whole, you can see that they're a bit more technical all over the pitch than we are. Now, obviously, we have some guys, not here that bring a little bit more composure technically. But for me, that stood out today when you look at their players and how technical they are, and that's where we need to get. We need guys that are comfortable. More comfortable on the ball in tight spaces and able to squirm out, whether it's in a 1v1, whether it's in combination, more precision, more quality, more technical quality. And then I do think at times athletically, especially at the back, because you have to, in this league, if you want to press, you have to be in 1v1s. And it just felt like, there were times in those 1v1s where we just weren't athletic enough. Especially at the back.
All right, joined now by Revolution defender Dave Romney. We'll jump right into questions here. We'll get started with Frank DeLappa. If you have a question, please hit the raise hand icon. Frank, you're unmuted.
Good. Hey, Dave. Caleb seemed still encouraged by how you guys your potential this season. Do you still see signs of promise, and are you still encouraged?
It's obviously tough to take any positives away from a game like this. I think down the stretch of the season, there are games where we've played extremely well, and there are tons of positives to take away. Tonight was obviously not one of those nights. We got played off the pitch by a really good team, and there's a reason why they're in the position they are on the table. And they won the title last year. But excluding this game, I think there are moments of games and long stretches of games where we've been very, very good to finish this year. So just as we go into the offseason, pull on those and learn from those and try to replicate those kind of moments in games as much as we can.
All right, next we'll go to Sam Mitten. He'll be followed by Nick Boonstra. Sam, you're unmuted.
Just fine.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking the time. Just kind of wanted to ask, obviously, Columbus is, at the peak of MLS in terms of kind of quality. I guess just in general, what do you think the team kind of needs to do in order to one day kind of, be competing with the likes of Columbus?
I'd say, everybody just needs to be cleaner on the ball. It's back to front. All of us haven't been good enough, whether it be defensively, attacking, on the ball, too many turnovers. It's just, we haven't been good enough collectively. And then it's in moments like this, just digging in as a group of guys and digging in and just having pride in these moments and just trying to give us the best result we can for the fans. The fans have been loyal to us all year. They've showed up. I think our two biggest games have been the last two home games. So we can't thank the fans enough for how they've supported us in this tough year. So it's playing for them, playing for the staff, coaches, everybody, and our families of just have enough pride to finish out these games. And so it's obviously frustrating to see how this game went. I wouldn't say it's a lack of effort. I mean, we'll see what the numbers look like from our GPS, but we just weren't sharp enough defensively, offensively, and too many spots on the game tonight, unfortunately.
Next, we go to Nick Boonstra, who'll be followed by Seth McCumber. Nick, you're unmuted.
Hey, Dave, I know it can be easy, after a game like that to say something along the lines of, oh, we'll put it behind us, especially towards the end of the season. I appreciate hearing the realism about the result. How do you reflect? What do the next couple of days look like for you, for the squad, just in terms of, reflecting on the game, the season, and how to make these sorts of improvements?
I mean, we'll scout Miami. We'll see kind of how they play and what tendencies they have. If there's stuff we can pull from this game, which will be similar to the Miami game, then we'll reflect on it from this. Because I mean, for myself, even though I wasn't a part of the 2021 team, that's a huge record you want to defend for the club and the fans, and then the guys on the team who earned that record. So I'm going to be, if I'm playing, I'm going to be working as hard as I can to get a result in Miami to preserve that record and keep the Revolution point record in New England, or the Supporter Shield points record. So just seeing if there are any similarities or stuff we can learn from this game, taking into Miami. Maybe they play completely different and we won't use anything. But yeah, I think yeah, I don't know, getting a little sidetracked, but yeah, all focus is on next game, because that one, even though out of the playoffs, is extremely important to me.
Take two more questions. First, we'll go to Seth McCumber, and we'll wrap up with Sam Minton. Seth, you're unmuted.
I know at one point late in the game, I saw you kind of gesturing, let's go, guys. It was on a corner kick, so you're kind of putting your full energy in there. But I'm curious, like, what this team has conceded a lot of goals, and there's been a lot of multi-goal losses. What do you attribute that to this season?
I mean, it's it's tough to say. I don't. If I knew exactly why, we wouldn't be conceding as many goals. It's just some of it's the team defense isn't good enough, and some of it is guys in positions to make a play and they don't. It's happened to me this season, and it's happened to other guys. So it's can't point any fingers, because I've been at fault for goals this season. And we've definitely given away too many goals, and it's extremely frustrating. It's not something I want to see, because that's my job, is to keep the ball out of the back of the net. So it's extremely frustrating when we keep on letting in these goals game after game and we don't have enough shutouts. Even just going 0-0 into like the 70th minute, we saw it against Nashville and some other games, where even just staying level for as long as possible, we can nick a goal late and get that win. So how we started the game is just horrible. We put our attacking group down 2-0 pretty much in the first 7-8 minutes. I don't know when they scored the second goal. Yeah, like 15 minutes. That's just no way to start a game. It's definitely tougher for us to play down 2-0 that early. And then it gets the crowd involved. It gets the confidence of the other team involved. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. Just extremely frustrating. And we have to be better in individual moments in a lot of those plays.
And we'll wrap up here with Sam Minton. Sam, you're unmuted.
And Dave, you kind of talked about playing for the fans. So I guess how can this team kind of, give fans hope kind of looking ahead to 2025 with the performance in the last game against Miami? I guess just how do you feel the team can kind of, play that with that passion for fans and kind of give them hope looking ahead to next season?
I mean, getting a win would obviously be huge. If this Miami team is one of the best in MLS history. And then just the pride of keeping that record in New England. It's a record that's something to be extremely proud of. I know all the 2021 guys worked their asses off to get that record, and it's something that you want to kind of see etched in stone for a long time. So yeah, hopefully the fans can take some solace if we can get a result in Miami. I know I would, and yeah. It's obviously this game isn't one that we're going to inspire fans with, but I think the way we've played in certain games down the stretch has been positive. So yeah, sorry if I'm kind of at a loss for words. I don't know. It's tough to say you're in getting the fans excited when you're near the bottom of the table. So
That's all the questions we
Yeah.
have. Thanks, Dave.